So we have our GPU overclocking on, 200 megahertz on the clock, 400 megahertz on the video memory, and let's start doing some game testing. Here we are in Forza Horizon 5. So we're at 1600p here, DLSS off, FSR off, whatever it has, and we're actually on high presets. And we're at 4 gigabytes, so basically you'd be able to play this on around these settings with the original 3050, the non-refresh, but you wouldn't be able to go any higher. Great performance here. I usually find that these the 3050s in general do well as long as you're not exceeding VRAM. We might get some micro stuttering, but this is 1600p on Ultra, just presets. We could probably tweak things. Yeah, you can see the 0.1% lows will drop, but it might be okay. We'll see how it looks. You could definitely get away with 1200p Ultra, like without a doubt. But it looks good overall. It's going to be risky, like it's warning us about the VRAM, you know, the 0.1% lows, but it's fine, to be honest. Let's just go with quality. That should be enough to bring our VRAM down. All we're trying to do is just decrease the VRAM here, to be honest. So, quality DLSS, 1600p Ultra presets. And you can see here our average is about the same as when we weren't using DLSS. However, our VRAM has come down to 5.5, and what that means is that we are not going to get really bad micro stuttering. So you can see the 0.1% lows came up. So the average stayed the same, but the lows came up because we are no longer exceeding VRAM. So 1200p medium, it's not looking great. We're within the VRAM limit, but we're doing okay. Actually, it's doing above 35 on average, and the lows are 15, so it's not actually terrible. So 1200p medium with quality FSR. Actually, now it's quite playable. So just the lightest FSR got us up to a proper frame rate, basically. 63 on average, up and down around 55 to 60 or so, obviously. And the lows are good. So yeah, this is probably the way to go. Medium 1200p, just throw on the lightest FSR, just quality FSR, which you can't really visually tell that it's on. Yeah, balance is going to give you, your 66 FPS. Let's play like this for a bit. I would probably play on quality and just, be at 55 or whatever, but let's just get a little bit further in with this type of setting. See how medium, 1200p, DLSS on performance. Even this might be a bit rough. We'll see. This game really likes good memory bandwidth on a GPU. If you have kind of lower memory bandwidth on these like lower power GPUs, they can sometimes really struggle. It's doing okay. The lows are really, you get a hitch every now and then. Overall, it's playable, but when you go into a new area, it will kind of stream in assets and you get a momentary hitch. See, now it's back to normal. Every now and then it streams in assets, and I think it just drops down in performance, but definitely playable. I'd say 1200p performance, and then on medium, every now and then you get a single hitch, like right there was a bit, but it's not really going to compromise your ability to play the game. Again, this is Hogsmeade, which is very demanding. You could go to Hogwarts and it would probably be much smoother, but I'm going to go low, but I'm going to turn up a couple things. So I'm going to turn up materials to medium. I'm going to turn up textures to medium so that it kind of still looks good, and population quality turn to medium. We'll leave all this other stuff down. Let's see how this looks. Sometimes tweaking the settings a bit can really help. So this is 1200p, still performance DLSS, and I just kind of tweaked a bit of those settings. So there's low mixed with some medium, basically. Let's see what we get here. This is a very challenging game. I kind of didn't expect this to run it very well. It just doesn't run well in anything. Okay, so this is pretty ambitious. This is 1600p native. No scaling. It's medium, but I mean it's 1600p. This game is not easy to run. I feel like NVIDIA runs this game quite well. Yeah, okay, well, 1600p native, you can just throw it on medium and, turn down the reflections to low and away you go, really. 62 on average, 39 as the 1% lows, 0.1% lows at 18, but there was a momentary hitch there. You can see the CPU usage here, it's at 31 watts, and the actual usage on the CPU, it only says 6, but the power is being shared between the CPU and GPU. The CPU is being hit a little bit harder than some other games, so yeah, it's performing quite well though. So here we are at Ultra with quality DLSS. Let's reset the benchmark there. Probably not the way to go. It's just going to be too, yeah, look at that. Like, it's just too much. You can play on medium and totally get away with it with excellent 60 FPS. Like, normally I'm like, oh, you can play at 30, but I mean, visually you can see it doesn't look, it's okay. We'll have some FXAA on, so we have some anti-aliasing, and then we'll just leave that all default. So this is basically medium, but with ultra textures, and we'll see how this looks. Okay, so we're in the game now. Let's check how our performance is. So this is, again, ultra presets. This is ultra textures and everything else on medium, basically. And 1600p, so higher than 1440p technically. No scaling. And it's performing quite well, to be honest. This is the type of game that you can absolutely play at 51 FPS on average when the lows are 36. You're going to have a good time. I mean, it's not a fast-paced FPS competitive shooter. And that's just quality DLSS, even with DLSS on, especially at a screen of this size. The screen looks beautiful. 90 hertz refresh rate, and I mean, it's just a nice looking screen. So let's turn it up a little bit more DLSS. So balanced DLSS, you're probably going to be getting closer to 60, yeah. 57 on average there. The 3050 is going to perform well, but it's going to come down to just wattage on the 3050. It's not a super high wattage 3050, unfortunately. So, but it's performing well. I mean, 1600p. You're just going to need a little DLSS. You don't need it. You absolutely don't need the DLSS. You could play at 45 or 48 FPS or whatever it was. But if you want to be at 60, just throw in that little bit of DLSS. Okay, here we are in The Last of Us. I suspect this is going to be another title where that VRAM comes in very handy. Looks like it's pretty much high. Yeah, so I guess this is 1600p high with quality DLSS. It's going to be, yeah, this will be like your highest fidelity you're going to get. VRAM is fine, but we're at 35 FPS or so. The spread between average and lows is quite good. So you actually could play like this. This is like console level. We're not dropping way down. It looks pretty static, to be honest, so. Yeah, this will be your quality mode, I guess. Okay, now we're back. We're on medium, 1600p, quality DLSS, and this will probably be significantly more playable. Yeah, 35 was okay. You could play like that. It's more of like a last-gen console, but 45 is substantially more playable. The lows are great. 45 FPS as an average is like balance mode. I play like Hogwarts Legacy, for example, on the PS5 on balance mode, which is 45 FPS, because for this style of game, honestly, 45 is enough. 60 is good, I guess, but story-based games, relatively slow-paced, you want them to look good, and this looks quite nice, to be honest. Just performance DLSS, that medium preset again, and this game still looks great, even with performance DLSS. Hopefully the camera picks it up, but it's quite sharp to my eyes. The iPhone probably won't do it justice, but quite sharp. So I would actually probably play this game at 1600p medium with performance DLSS, because you're getting like a 60 FPS, almost 60 FPS, you're getting 55 average. The lows are great, and it looks really nice. Yeah, really nice.